Hello, Mina. Hello, everyone. So today we are going to make a wreath. So first, I'm going to show you all of the stuff that we have out so that you know what you need. This is a 12-inch wreath form. I got it from Walmart. Usually I use the Dollar Tree ones, but it's really hard to find Dollar Tree ones that are smaller. So we are going to use this one. If you don't have the one from Walmart, that's okay. It'll still work. The most important thing is that when you have your sign, so this is the sign we're going to be using. I got this one from Hobby Lobby last year on sale. So we already learned how to put our cable mounts in. So if you don't know how to do that, I will leave a link for that video. Just make sure that your sign lines up enough with your base so that you make sure that the base is big enough. For this one, we're going to put it in the middle, so that is why I'm putting it here, to make sure that the cable mounts line up with the wreath base. Because if it goes straight through it, it's going to make it hard to put on there. You're going to have to put it on the side or something. But today we are putting it in the middle. Okay? Next we have this ribbon. I got it from Craft Outlet. It has dog print signs on it with bones and hearts. It is wired. It is a faux burlap. Okay, so I believe this is very durable. It doesn't fray as much as other ribbons. It does fray a little bit, but I mean, it's been sitting on the roll for a while, so that's good. So we're going to be using that. This is also from Craft Outlet. It is one of my favorite ribbons to use. It is very high quality. It doesn't tear or fray very easily. It is a plaid black and white, but it looks like diamond pattern because of the 1.5 inch. These are both 1.5 inch wired ribbon, and I got them both for 100 feet so that they would last longer. Okay, and then we have our fabric mesh. I love fabric mesh, and the reason why is because it has deco mesh mixed in with a little bit of fabric going through it. This is also from Craft Outlet. Before I open this package all the way, I want to show you something. See that where it says 10 by 10 yards? Okay, this is a 10-inch mesh, okay, and it's 10 yards. 10 yards is 30 feet. So when you go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, you will see that the mesh will come in 9 yards. You are getting a wrong deal. You're not getting the best deal that you can get. I got this for maybe $7 or $8 on Craft Outlet. Yes, you have to pay for shipping unless you have a certain amount in your cart that you're going to buy. But this is where I get it. It's Craft Outlet. Or you can get it from Trendy Tree, the Wreath Shop. There's lots of places out there that have fabric mesh. This is white fabric mesh. Okay. So we're going to open it, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about this mesh. One video I am going to do different types of mesh so you guys know what to look for. So this one is very durable. It does fray, but I'm going to show you how to deal with that. On the edges here is what I call fish hooks. When they make the mesh, they put it this way, and then the fish hooks go this way to hold all of the mesh together at the end here. And so it hooks on your clothes. So if you have a specific clothing that you are using and it's constantly getting hooked on your clothing, you need to change it. I suggest a cotton blend that is tightly woven. If you have anything that's like crocheted or silk or anything that has looser threads, you're going to get cut, you're going to get caught, and then you're going to have a snag in your clothing. So I suggest you use that. Okay. And then this is a black and white plaid fabric mesh. It's also from Craft Outlet, and I'm sure you've seen it at like Hobby Lobby and Michael's. It is the same quality, but they also give you less. You're going to need at least 2 rolls so that it would be the same amount. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut the mesh first. We're going to put all this to the side up there. All right. So I'm going to use these scissors. They're easier to cut the mesh. A lot of people use the wood burning tools, but the style that we are using today, we don't need that because no one's going to be able to see it. And no matter if it frays, it still is not coming out. I make my wreaths to last, and now I'm teaching you how to do it as well. So I've already marked my board for where I want it to be. Because I use the cruffle a lot. That is the term that we are using for the style. So we are doing 28 inches. And we're going to take the lock off and then just go up. These are Frisker scissors. I got them at Walmart. I only use them for mesh. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. That's okay. Okay? And just let it roll. So we need these ones and those ones, and I'll show you how to determine how many you need here in a minute. And then let's cut one of these so that you can see for both kinds. And then I'll show you how you know how many you will need. Okay. So I'm going to cut, try to go in between the 2 brightest whites right here. Try to go in between them. But if you don't, that's okay. No one's going to see that part. Okay? Make sure you lock your scissors back up. Next, we're going to get our wreath frame. These are pipe cleaners. You can use wire, but pipe cleaners are easier on your hands. They're also cheaper, unless you use a whole lot of them, like I do. So I use a combination of wire and pipe cleaners in each wreath. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to find an empty spot, usually in the middle, at the 2 bottom bars, right here. Pull your pipe cleaner up so that it's about the same. And then you're going to put an X, pull tight, and you want the knot to be up here on this second bar. Up here, not down here, not in the middle, second bar. You're going to twist twice and then pull it to the front. You'll come back to it in a minute. Now you're going to I take my marker and do this. You can measure it if you would like. It's just easier for me to use the marker and it comes off. So it's not a big deal to me. So what you're going to want to do is measure 4 inches. I'm literally doing this all the time, so I don't care if it's marked on me. But if you would rather measure it, that is up to you. So now you're going to put another pipe cleaner, but instead of it being here and here, you want it to be in the 3rd and 2nd bracket. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not putting anything on this first bracket. It's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want this one to be on 2 and 3. Okay, you're going to pull it up, and this time you want your knot to be on the 2nd. Okay, you see that? It's not in the middle, it's not here, it's on the 2nd. There we go. Twice, and pull down. Make sure that it's tight so it doesn't move. Now the reason why we put this mark on our hand, or for you to measure, okay, is what you're going to do is you're going to use your hand to measure where you put your next pipe cleaner. you want it to be 4 inches, about 4 inches. Sometimes you will not have enough room and you will have to adjust, but most of the time that is just fine. All right. So next what we're going to do is we're going to do this all the way around. You measure the bottom one. You want it to go on the 3rd rung. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Twist. Twice. Pull down. Do you see that? Now let's measure this one. Because this one is the 12-inch, they'll probably be in about the same spot every time. When you're doing the bigger ones, it gets more tricky. So make sure you're going on the 2nd rung, okay? You want that one to be there, the knot. Twice, and then pull it this way. Oh, this one moved. So we're going to make this one a little bit tighter. There we go. We don't want them to move. A lot of people go out of their way and just put glue down. I think that is not necessary. If you do it tight enough, you shouldn't have them moving, as long as you do the 2 brackets instead of the 1, or the 2 rungs instead of the 1. All right. And then measure. All right. Now that that is done, now we're going to count how many we have. So I'm going to put my hand here so I know where we started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need 12, which means we need 6 of each color. So I'm going to cut those and then we will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to show you one more time how I cut my mesh. This is a 10-inch roll this way. And then we're going to cut the mesh to 28 inches. Alright, so as you can see, I still have quite a bit, and this one was already open, so I'm not sure how much I used it before, but there's still quite a bit left, so we can use that for another project. This one was brand new. See, we have still about half the roll, so you can make a whole nother wreath with this. Okay, make sure you lock your scissors. We don't want that stabbing anybody. All right, so next I'm going to show you how to make the cruffle. You can use the little clips as well, but I like to use the big clips. All right, these are my big clips. I get them at the Dollar Tree. They come looking like this, but you know, over time they eventually have the little pink things come off, and that's okay. As long as they open and close, you're perfectly fine. Okay. So what we're going to do is make a cruffle. You're going to unroll it a little bit, and what you're going to do is fold the corner over like a triangle. Do you see that? You want it folded over like a triangle, and we'll do that on both sides. There we go. That is not normally what you do with a cruffle, but I have come up with this method so that it doesn't fray as much when it's already on the wreath. Okay, next you're going to roll it. I roll it at least 3 or 4 times, and then you're going to get your clip, put it on there, okay, so that your roll goes all the way around. You could probably even do a little bit more than that. There we go. So that you have this nice little curl. All right. So now let's flip this around. And the reason why I use the big clips is because it's heavy enough to hold it down so it doesn't roll back on me. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing. Fold it over like a triangle. Okay. Fold it over and then roll. Just like the other side. Now, you still have all this space. We are going to ruffle. That is why it's called a ruffle, because it rolls and then you ruffle. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your fingers, pinch the curl in the middle, and you always know where the curl is, especially where the middle is, because of the plaid here. You have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one's the middle. So you're going to pinch it in the middle, bring your fingers and pull it towards you. Pull, pull. You could also climb up it. I like to do it that way because then you could see these little creases here and then you get a better ruffle. All right, see how this goes over that? That's okay. It's going to add character to your wreath. All right, so we're going to do that to all of these, and we will probably fast forward so you don't see all of them, but I will make one more before you fast forward. So let's do a white one. There we go. My scissors attacking me. So make your fold over. You want to make sure you get a good triangle. It's going to cut off this edge here from being exposed from in the middle of your wreath. And so it is going to fray way less unless someone cuts it or a cat chews on it like the way my cats do. That is why all the wreaths are hanging up way up on the walls. Okay, so let's roll it. Get your clip. Clip it. Flip it over. You're going to fold over, and then roll. Now, I think that this method is probably the best one to do if you don't want things to fray. It also makes everything look fuller and poofier. The problem with this, though, is that if you have a storm door, it may not fit. So you're going to take your clip. I'm just pinching it in the middle with my fingers. You're going to take your clip and put it there so that you can let go. Do it another time. Fold it over into your triangles. Roll. Do your clip. There we go. Fold over. We're going to do that with every single piece we cut of this mesh. There we go. And then we're going to climb. Pull it towards you. Okay. Do another one. One more. Corners. Roll. Get your clamp. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Just make sure that it looks about equivalent. That's all you can do. We'll climb up. If you're trying to aim for perfection, you are on the wrong video. Alright, now we have all of our clamps done, all of our cruffles. So next we're going to get our wreath base back. Okay, now I usually do one and then another. So we're going to start with the white. You're going to open your pipe cleaner. See how this, there's one on this side, one on this side. Okay, put it in the middle on top of the knot. Pull the pipe cleaners up, push the mesh down, make an X. See what I did there? I just pulled them the opposite ways. Pull tight and twist. 1, 2. Okay. All right. Don't worry, you can fluff it later. Now let's do a black and white one. Take the clamp off. Find the next one on the second or the third and fourth bar. Okay? Open it. Pull this one backwards like this so that you have enough room to pull this one in. Okay? All right. Now, pull the pipe cleaners up like this. Make sure there's one on one side and one on the other side. Push your mesh down a little bit. Make an X. And pull hard. Twist 1, twist 2. Okay. Pull this up a little bit. You can adjust a little bit after it has gone into the pipe cleaner. That's okay. Now let's do a white one. Pull your mesh back. Pipe cleaner on one side and another. Make sure it's on top of the knot. Pull the X tight. 1, 2. Then lift it up and put it where you want it to be. Okay. We're only doing the 4th and 3rd rung right now. We'll go back through and do the next rung in a minute. And we're almost done. We ended up with one less of black and white. So if it looks bad, you could always do another one and add another. Oh, there's the other black and white. It's hiding from me. There we go. Make sure your spacing is good. You could always move it later if you need to. If you see like an open hole, make sure your pipe cleaners are open. Put your mesh in. Go. Push down and pull, twist twice. Okay, we have one more, and then we are done with the mesh part. Okay, so make sure it's open. Grab our last black and white. Make sure you put it on the knot. Push down, pull hard, twist 1, 2, and then poof. All right, as you can see, they're not going anywhere. I'm not afraid of them coming apart. Oh, we still have one more. Definitely need another cup of tea today. All All right. So we have one more. Let's open it up. Pull and then twist twice and then poof. All right. Now, doesn't that look full? We can look it up and you can't barely see through it. Let's adjust this a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. And once we get the sign on here and the ribbon, you're not going to see through it at all. Okay. So the sign is going to sit right in there. Next, we're going to do the ribbon. We don't need this mesh anymore. So we're going to put that to the side. So just like the mesh, there is lots of different techniques that you can use with the ribbon. Today, I'm just going to use a simple technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut each ribbon. Let's put these clips back in here. We won't need them anymore. This is just a little basket that I made from the Dollar Tree using a napkin and the fire technique from one of the previous videos. There we go. So this is used for mesh. This one is for my mesh. And so we don't need it anymore. I'm going to put it back in my basket. This one is my ribbon. I use the gray handled ones for my ribbon. I only use it for ribbon, nothing else. It is also magnetic because it's one of the really good scissors. It's the Friskers ribbon. Okay, make sure you have your magnet to pick up any loose pieces of wire. Okay, so we are going to cut it at 12 inches. We're going to do 12. There we go. All right. Then you're going to bend it. And we're going to dovetail it. And just push the edges down here once you have lined it up at the end. Fold it so that you can see the corners here. And cut upwards to the corner. Ta-da! And yes, there's a little bit of fuzz. That's okay. We could just trim it right off. When it's stitched on the corners like that, then it is going to have a little bit of fuzz. You can also get a candle or a lighter and just burn it and it'll seal it. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then with the other ribbon, we're going to make this one slightly shorter because I want to be able to see the ribbon that is behind it, which is this one. And we want to be able to see this one up front because this one has a dog paw. So this one's a specialty ribbon. So we are going to do that way. So we are going to cut this one at 10.5, which is here. Fold it. Bend it here. Fold it over. Cut it at the angle. There we go. Ta-da! So that when you put it together, you can see both ribbon and the one that's more important will still be up. Do you see how it's shorter? You can still see both ribbons. Okay? Okay, so now that most of our ribbon is cut, we are going to do one more cut for each ribbon and then we'll assemble it. So you bend it, make sure that it's even up here. It does not have to be perfect. No one is going to measure your ribbon. Cut. Okay, put it in your pile. Cut this one. Now this one I didn't cut properly, so you see how it's a little bit longer on this side? Just put it straight across and you can cut it anyways and it'll still end up straight. Just like this. Just go to the bottom corner instead of the top. There you go. All right. Make sure that you get your magnet and you go through and make sure you pick up all the little pieces of metal. Look at all those little pieces of metal that came out of the ribbon, okay? You're going to need to do that so that you don't get stabbed by ribbon wire. It hurts, trust me. Okay. So, next we're going to get our ribbon pieces. We have our black and white, and then we have our paws. Okay, so go ahead and grab one black and white and one paw. So what you're going to do is unfold them, but you will still see the crease so you know where the middle is. Match the creases up on top of one another. Okay, so that they're straight, everything looks good. Now grab where the creases are with your thumbs and push them together once, twice, so that it makes like this little divot here, like a little elbow macaroni or something. Bend it, and you're going to put it right in here where your pipe cleaner is. Put it on top of the knot that's on the top. Twist it twice. Okay? And that is what it's going to look like. Now let's do that for all of them. Now, when you put on your sign, sometimes the ribbon will be underneath it. Just make sure that you pull your ribbon out so that you can see your ribbon. Line up your ribbon, find the little middle bent part here, push up like a mountain, just push it, pinch, push up, pinch. Okay, all I'm doing is pushing this in the back so that it looks nicer. Bend, put it in. X, like we've been doing, pull, twist, twice. Put your ribbon out like this, and you're good to go. Don't forget to do the inside part of the ribbon. So we have 2 rows. We want to do both rows, okay? Make sure they're even. There we go. And so I prefer to do mesh. Okay. Now that we have all of our ribbon on, the next step is to get rid of these pipe cleaners. Most people just cut them off. I do not. I like the extra security, and I like that I can open it up and fix something if something gets hurt or whatever. So what you're going to do, did you see my fingers right here? This is where the pipe cleaners are coming through. See? You're going to take one end and put it back through where it was coming in. Just like this. And then do it on the other side, which should be easy for the middle part because it's just going through the middle. I'm going to flip this over. And then you pull tight. Pull tight, twist 3 or 4 times to make sure that it stays. Okay? And then you take your wire cutters and cut a piece off. Then I want you to take this piece that's poking up and I want you to push it back down like that. You can't even tell that the piece is there. And then you could always open it back up if you need to. And then once you're done doing that, you can adjust the ribbon so that it pops up like that. It'll make it look real pretty, and it makes the mesh pop up. And you're going to do it with the other ones as well. This one you need to put it inside the first hole there, and then put it through the hole where you put the other part of the pipe cleaner. I'm going to flip it over so you can see. See, I just put it right through here, and then this one goes through here. Pull, twist, cut, and then push that back down. Well, let's get this ribbon out of the way. Okay. Don't worry, we'll poof it once we're done. Put this back through. We're going to go all the way around like that. Try not to push too hard on your wreath because you don't want it to smush. Ready? Pull, twist. You can wait till the end to cut them all. It is up to you. Sometimes I cut them as I go. Sometimes I wait till the end. Let's do the next one. These ones are going to make sure that it holds in place and that you could fix it, like say if a piece of ribbon gets a stain on it or for some reason it gets cut, you could always open it back up, put more ribbon on it. This is what it looks like when I am doing it without flipping it. You can see how it moved the ribbon as I went. Because if you cut the pipe cleaner too short, you're going to have to take the entire thing out, not just the ribbon. Okay, put that through, flip it over, pull tight, twist, cut. Now, you can also save the extra little pieces for when you're putting lights on a wreath. Them through the right holes, flip them over. Oh, we didn't put it through the right hole. So this one goes here, and this one needs to go one more over. There we go. X and pull. Cut. And push it down. Let's do the next one. Find the hole. Put this one on this side. There we go. Flip it over. Pull hard. You want it to be tight. Twist. Especially with these frames, you can pull as hard as you want. It's not going to snap them. It's not going to ruin your frame. Because of the way that Walmart makes their frames, it is a metal hook that goes over the side here. And so you can actually pinch and move them if you want to, but it makes it so that it is a better quality than the Dollar Tree. But most of us cannot afford to just use Walmart ones because they're $2 to $3 each. Later I will show you how to do one on a Dollar Tree frame. I do that all the time. I use the canes, the 16-inch, the 10-inch ones. It's just easier and cheaper sometimes, and sometimes I can't find these wreath frames at Walmart. So sometimes that is my only option. Cut it, push it down. Let's do our next one. Put it through. pull tight, twist. You see how this one is a longer piece? I'm going to keep that. I'm going to throw that over there with my other ones. That piece I'm going to keep because it's long enough to use for my lights. Try not to waste as much, right? Okay. We are almost done. Put it through. Flip it over. Make sure it goes through the right hole. Now, if you were on a bracket, that's okay. It's not going to matter. You can just go ahead and do it even if there's one on this side and one on this side of the bracket. This is the bracket that goes up and down. Twist. Cut. Push down. Couple more. Push these through. I think I'm going to put this one through too so we can do it at the same time. There we go. All right. See, now we could do two at the same time. Pull tight, twist 3 or 4 times. Do the same with this one. Pull tight, twist 3 or 4 times. And cut it. This way. Okay. Now, let's fix our wreath a little bit because we're flipping it over and all the time it's going to make the ribbon bend a little bit, but that's okay because it's wire. It'll go back. We're just going to fix a little bit because we're going to have to put the sign on next, which means we have to flip it back over again. All right. So next we are going to put the sign on. So first we need to attach the wire. This is 22 gauge wire. I'm using silver today. I don't think the green will do much good. Usually when you use a different color, it's so that you can hide the wire. Usually you can't see the wire anyways, as long as it's a thicker mesh. Okay. So I'm going to cut this wire out. It's about 20 inches. You can cut it a little bit shorter if you want, or a little bit longer if you feel that it is easier to work with. But you will need 4 pieces. You're going to put it through the holes of the cable mounts, like so. Okay. Match up the ends as best as you can. Then you're going to make an X, just like you did with the pipe cleaners, and twist it. It is a little bit harder because this is a box one, but it can be done with any sign. Depending on what kind of sign it is, we can also screw in the cable mounts. We can also use metal signs, and those will have to be just cable mounts without the screws. If there's already holes, then you could just put your wire through the holes and then just make your twist like this on the back behind the holes, depending on what kind of sign you have. Some of them even only have 2 holes, so you'll have to do 2 2 cable mounts, and then to just wire in the holes. All right. So then you're going to put your wire through. Sometimes it's easier to make it as a curve, especially with ones like this, where it's a box. And I put this one real close to the wall, so it's going to be a little bit harder to do. So I'm going to do that. So when I turn it, there we go. Might just have to break out my tweezers. I put it way too close to the edge. So always be mindful when you put your cable mounts on, so that you know that you can get your actual wire through. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to break out my tweezers. You could also use needle nose pliers. My son took mine. I have no idea where he put them. So we're gonna have to use these tweezers. This is a set I got off Amazon. My brother got it actually for me. And there's lots of different, like, thin ones and wide ones, and it's just useful. Alright. Put your wire in. And grab the wire with the tweezers or your needle nose pliers, whichever you have. And just pull it upwards. There we go. Ta-da. Match them. Make an X. And twist. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to make the wire stronger. And then just bring them this way so they don't get in your way. Now this wire will poke you, and it will poke the skin in so much that you will get bleed. So I suggest you be careful. What really hurts the worst is when it goes underneath your nail. That really, really hurts. That's happened a couple of times. So please be safe. Go slowly. You could always pause the video as you go. Okay. One last one. As I said before, I try to make my wreaths last. I don't want them to last 1 year and then you're going to have to buy a new one. Hopefully you will put this into practice with your own wreaths. That way, the thing that you worked so hard on will last longer than what you think. Okay, let's put this back. Roll this up. One of these videos, I'm going to have to show you all the tools that I have. Okay, so it is up to you which side you want your sign to be on, like this way or upwards or whatever. This one, it's pretty simple and there's not really an up or down yet, so I'm just going to put it wherever it's going to sit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wire and you're going to put it through the 2 inner rungs. Okay. Do you see the wire? Now it's not going to be tight right now because we're going to have to put the other wire on first. And then we'll tighten it after we're done. So just exit and then twist it. See, it's not tight at all. You can still move it. That's because we want it to be more centered and not all on one side. So put it through the middle 2 rungs. And you could feel it with your fingers. That's usually what I do. If you end up putting the wire on where a piece of mesh bunch is, this is a bunch, then you could always put it through the middle right here. I do not suggest going through the mesh because of the fact that it will ruin your mesh and it will fray. So let's not do that. Now we're just going to see 1, 2 in the middle, and we're just going to twist it and then do the other 2. And once we're done, we will tighten them. Let's see, where is this wire? Okay, so this one ended up on top of a bunch. So we're going to take it and put it on this side, but still in the middle 2 rungs. So you're gonna have to put it underneath the mesh and then through here in the middle. There we go. Always put it on in between 2, not just 1, because it will hold it better and center it better. See that? It's coming up right there. You're going to want to make an X and twist it. Keep in mind that we're going to tighten them once we get the last one on. Okay. All right. That one's on. Oh, do we have them all on? Nope. One more. Okay. Bring one wire through here. Put it in between the 4th and the 3rd rung. Bring this one and put it behind this mesh. And put it between the 1st and 2nd rung. Pull it. Okay, next we're going to flip it over. And you can see all this wire. So we can pull this tight. You want to pull it tight. And make an X. And twist. I recommend wire instead of pipe cleaners. I've used pipe cleaners in the past and they become very loose over time. The wire takes way longer for it to become loose. So I would prefer the wire over the pipe cleaners. But if your hands can't stand that, then go ahead and use the pipe cleaners. So I'm just going to untwist this. And then I'm going to pull, make an X and twist. Make sure you pull hard. You want it tight. You could also use your fingers and put it in the middle here. And then pinch and twist. We're going to do the same thing over here. And don't worry, we're going to cut off the excess. We are almost done with this wreath. So we are going to pull tight, make an X, put your fingers in the middle, and twist. All you're doing is just moving it around in a circle. There we go. All right. Make sure all of them are tight. They're not going anywhere. So we're going to cut all this excess here. Put it in our trash bin. We don't want to step on that. I can recommend doing this above like a tile or some kind of hard floor, because if you use carpet, you're going to lose wire and then you will step on it. And let me tell you, this kind of wire in your foot hurts really bad. All right, so next you're going to take the wire that's standing up like this, push it over the next rung and down. See how it's pointing like that? You don't want it towards someone's door, okay? So push it. This one I'm going to go in the middle because it looks like it's going to go in the middle. It could reach that far. This one looks like it will reach in the middle, so it's going to go there. Same with this one. And then you could always pull it up and adjust it more later. Okay. Next, let's fix our ribbon and our mesh. So you're going to want to pull out the mesh a little bit. Don't worry, you're not going to rip it. There we go. You can fix it when you pull it out. There we go. Now, if your sign has a lot of wording on it, you're going to want to pull out the mesh like I just did, and then take a little bit and push it back under the sign so that it doesn't flop over as far. Do you understand? That way you could still read your sign and you'll still be able to see your sign, but then the hole is covered and it still looks good. Make sure you fix your ribbon. Pull out your mesh a little bit. There we go. I do not recommend doing this with regular deco mesh without the fabric mesh in there, because it will probably destroy it. Especially the cheap deco mesh that you can get for like $3 or $4. That is going to be destroyed if you do that with this. You do not pull it out like that. You're going to have to make sure that it's tucked out before you tighten the sign. Pull this out a little bit back in. There we go. All right. Now let's check the back and make sure we didn't miss anything. See, and look at that. Okay. So you can see the back, and what I normally do is that I have a sticker, and I put the sticker back here, and it has my name and my email and my Facebook page, my Instagram, etc. And so I just put my sticker there. Next, we're going to make our hook, and then we are done. So what you're going to do is look at your sign. Where is the middle of your sign? It is right here. Right here. So what you're going to do is going to take your pipe cleaner, and then you're going to put it in the second rung here. Okay, you're going to pull it up so that you have about that much left. Okay, you're going to make your X with it and twist. That's all. And then we're going to do it with the other side. I figured out that if you put it on 2 rungs, 1, 2, instead of just the one, it'll stay better and stay longer before it snaps. Make sure you leave a loop for you to hang it on. And then you twist it. Make sure your loop is not as so long as that it is longer than your mesh, so that you see it when you hang it up. You don't want that. You want it to see, oh, it's just hanging out of midair. I have no idea how it's hanging like that. That's what you want it to look like. Okay. This is our wreath. Now, since we are done with this, normally I spray it with Rust-Oleum Clear. It is a spray in a spray can down the hardwood aisle. It's usually around $4 here in Colorado. You don't need to use the whole bottle or even a quarter of the bottle. Just make sure you spray everything. It'll help reduce the color fading, and it'll help repel the water, especially on your sign and the ribbon. The mesh, there's so many holes, any water is just kind of like drip right through it. So I'm not too concerned about that. Make sure that you spray the back of it as well. But that's it. Look how clean that looks. And then people ask me how I put my wreaths together without any hot glue, and this is how I did it. And then they don't believe me, so I usually just flip it over and I show them so that you can show your friends too. I did this without hot glue. Now it is ready for a front door as soon as you spray it, or you can sell it, up to you. This one is probably going to be going to a craft show with me. I do craft shows here in Colorado. Last year I participated in the Applewood events, the Adams County Fairgrounds Christmas one in November, the second weekend of November every year. That one I've been participating in for quite some time. I will be in the big rectangle building there. Applewood, I am doing the ranch, and then I will be doing the ranch in October and November. I am going to try and get to Molly McGee this year. Let's see if we can get in. And I will further update you of the events that we get throughout the year. Okay? I would love for you to leave a like and a comment and subscribe. Have a good day and a week, everyone. Come back for new videos.